In this video we're going to look at how to factorise expressions. So factorising means put into brackets. So let's look at the first example. So what we need to look at is, are there any common letters or numbers that are common throughout the whole expression that we can take outside the brackets? So let's look at the first example, 5x plus 35. So we can see there isn't x in both of the numbers, both parts of the expression, but we can see that 5 goes into both 5 and 35. So we can take 5 out of the brackets. Now inside the brackets we've got to think, what do we times 5 by to get 5x? And the answer is just x, plus, and now we think, what do we times 5 by to get 35? And the answer is 7. So the full answer is 5 brackets x plus 7 close brackets. And again, let's look at another example. Again, no x's in both parts of the expression, so let's look at the number terms. So we can see that 2 goes into both 2 and 8, so we will take 2 on the outside of the brackets. And then inside the brackets we're left with, what do we times 2 by to get 2x? And the answer is x, minus, and then what do we times 2 by to get 8? The answer is 4. So putting that all together we get 2 brackets x minus 4 close brackets. And in the last example here, again, no x is common in both the parts of the expression, so we need to look at the number terms. So we can see that 4 goes into both 4 and 20, so we can take 4 out of the brackets. So inside the brackets we're left with, so what do we times 4 by to get 20? And the answer is 5, but we've still got an x, so inside we will have 5x plus, then what do we times 4 by to get 4? And the answer is just 1. So the answer will be 4 brackets 5x plus 1. Okay, so now let's look at some slightly harder examples. So in these examples you can see that one of the numbers doesn't go exactly into the other one, but there is a common number that goes into both numbers. So when we look at the first one, 10x minus 25, we can see that 10 doesn't go into 25 or vice versa, but we can see that 5 goes into both 10 and 25, so we can take 5 outside of the brackets. And inside we've got to think, what do we times 5 by to get 10? And the answer is 2, and we've still got an x, so that will be 2x minus, then think, what do we times 5 by to get 25? The answer is 5. So the full answer is 5 brackets 2x minus 5 close brackets. Okay, let's look at the next example. We haven't got x common in both parts, so we know we can't take an x out. And now we're looking at the number terms. 12 doesn't go into 18, or 18 doesn't go into 12, but we want to think, what's the highest number that does go into both of those numbers? And the highest number is 6. So we can take 6 out of the brackets. And inside we've got to think, what do we times 6 by to get 18? And the answer is 3. We've still got an x, so it will be 3x plus, what do we times 6 by to get 12? The answer is 2. So altogether that is 6 brackets 3x plus 2 close brackets. Okay, the last example here, again, 14 doesn't go into 21 and 21 doesn't go into 14, but the highest number that does go into both 14 and 21 is 7. So we're going to take 7 outside the brackets, and inside we need to think, what do we times 7 by to get 14? And the answer is 2. And we have still got an x there, so that will be 2x minus, what do we times 7 by to get 21? And the answer is 3. So putting that together, the full answer is 7 brackets 2x minus 3. So now we're going to look at examples where we have a common letter rather than a common number. So when we look at the first example, we can see we've got x squared minus 3x. So we can see we haven't got a number that's common in both parts, but we have got x in both parts. So we will take x outside of the brackets. So inside the brackets, we have to think, what do we times x by to get x squared? And the answer is x. Minus, what do we times x by to get 3x? And the answer is just 3. So putting that together, the answer is x brackets x minus 3 close brackets. So looking at the next example, again, we can't take any number out because 2 and 5 don't go into each other, and there isn't a number that is common in both of those numbers. But there is an x in both parts, so we can take an x outside of the brackets. And inside, we're left with 2. And then what do we times x by to get x squared? The answer is x. So inside we'll be left with 2x plus, again, what do we times x by to get 5x? Just 5. So the full answer will be x brackets 2x plus 5 close brackets. And the last one, again, 7 and 4 don't go into each other, and there isn't a number that's common in both, so we can't really take any number outside of the brackets, but we can see that x is common in both, so we can take an x outside of the brackets. And inside we're left with, what do we times x by to get 7x? The answer is 7. Minus, what do we times x by to get 4x squared? So the 4 will just stay as it is, so 4. And the answer is x because we've still got one x left. So the full answer is x brackets 7 minus 4x close brackets. And finally, we're going to look at examples where you can take a number and a letter out. So when we look at the first example, we can see that we've got 2 and 6. So 2 does go into 6, so we can take a 2 out of the brackets. Okay, and now also we can see we've got an x that's common in both parts of the expression as well, so we can take x out of the brackets. So inside the brackets, we need to think, what do we times 2x by to get 2x squared? So the number part is fine, we just need one more x. So that will be x plus, again, what do we times 2x by to get 6x? So the x bit is fine, but we just need to work out what do we times 2 by to get 6, and the answer is 3. So putting that together, we get 2x brackets x plus 3 close brackets. Okay, so in the next example, if we look at the numbers first, we can see that actually 3 does go into 9, so we could take 3 out of the brackets. And we've got x in both parts of the bracket, so we can also take an x out. So inside the brackets, we've got to think, what do we times 3x by to get 9x? The x is fine, we just have to work out what do we times 3 by to get 9, and the answer is 3. Minus, what do we times 3x by to get 3x squared? So the number part is fine, we just need one more x, so that will just be x. So putting that all together, we get 3x brackets 3 minus x close brackets. And in our final example, if we look at the number terms, we can see we've got 8 and 12. So 8 doesn't go into 12 and 12 doesn't go into 8, but the highest number that does go into both those numbers is 4, so we can take 4 outside of the brackets. And we've also got x's in both parts, so again we can take an x out. So inside of the brackets, we have to think, what do we times 4x by to get 8x squared? So if we look at the number part, we have to think, what do we times 4 by to get 8? And the answer is 2. And we've only got one x on the outside, so in order to get x squared, we need to times it by another x. So that makes 2x. Plus, what do we times 4x by to get 12x? We've already got an x, so that's fine. But what do we times 4 by to get 12? And the answer is 3. So putting that all together, we get 4x brackets 2x plus 3 close brackets. And that is the end of this video. I hope that you have found it helpful.